This video I'm going to demonstrate how to draw facial proportions, just the basic like front view of a face. First thing I'm going to do is do an oval to kind of show the placement and size of the face. And I'm going to go ahead and add in kind of a neck and shoulders just to get my basic proportions going. It always looks a little weird to have just a floating face, in my opinion. Now this line is mostly going to disappear, so I always do this thing where I go over it a lot of times to get the shape that I want. But it's going to be covered up by hair, by cheeks, by chin, and so on. But this is your placement and size. If you want, if it feel like it's going to help you, you can also draw a light central axis. That's a line that goes from the top to the bottom, just to help you place things where you want them. Now, traditional facial guidelines tend to be these that I'm going to tell you. About halfway down is where eyes go. So you can measure it in a variety of ways. You can eyeball or guesstimate where you think it is. You can actually measure sort of. So I'm just kind of guessing about halfway, and I'm going to make a line where I think the eyes should go. Now, most people want to put them too high because eyes are so important. We figure they must be at the top, but there's actually quite a bit of hair and forehead. Just to get that idea, I'm going to divide this space about in half. If you have a real flat hair, it'll be really close to this. If you have puffy hair, it actually goes along that line. So I'm going to do some semi-puffy hair. Halfway between the eye mark and the chin lays the bottom of the nose usually. So I can kind of measure with my fingers, do a line there. And the middle line of the lips tends to be closer to the nose and the bottom of the chin. I'd say about a third of the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line there. Now, just with this much, you should start to see what's recognizable as human proportions. Then you've got to do your observational drawing and look at some people or some pictures to figure out how you want to do each thing. I'm just going to kind of make it up. So in terms of eye placement, some people say there's 5 eyes approximately across the face. So there'd be about the space of an eye in between the eyes, and maybe the little variation there depending on the person. You can do some nice almond shapes for the eyes. Decide if you're going to have eyelids or not have eyelids that show, or half eyelids that show even. I'll do the half eyelids, just kind of off the second half. And then, folks, as soon as I'm done with about that much, I start to get rid of stuff that I do not need because it distracts me a lot of times if I have all these weird lines going through my paper. So I'm getting rid of the top of the skull. Remember, I told you weren't going to need that shape exactly. It just helps you get the placement right. Then you can decide exactly how you want your nose to be. And man, there's a lot of noses. But they say that the nose, like, it usually is at least as wide as the space between your eyeballs. So I'm going to draw the nose I see in the mirror every day. A little bit of nostrils showing, and kind of a little teeny bump. Now, the rest of the nose, you might be tempted to do a line, and you can if you like that kind of style. But you can also just do it with shading if you want. A lot of times the nose, really, we see it mainly with shading, except for the area around the nostrils and the spaces, the holes in the nostrils, I should say. Now, you know, you can go ahead and look at photos, look at the mirror, look at your friend, look at your family, whoever you have close by, to figure out the lip shapes. Some people's lips are just a little teeny thin line. Some people have very wide lips that really have more of an impact on the face. So you can decide how you're going to do that as well. Now, don't forget to draw the face in. That guideline you drew at the beginning is not necessarily a face shape. So you want to go ahead and observe the shape of the face, maybe a jawline, chin line, so that it looks like a person and not just kind of like an egg-shaped situation. Again, the basic proportions of a face are an oval, halfway down or so for the eyes, halfway between the eyes and the chin for the bottom of the nose, the mouth closer to the nose. I forgot to put ears in. So the ears, I normally do these kind of C shapes. And if you feel your own ears, you know, they're longer than you think. They go from about eyebrows to somewhere near the top of the lip in most people's cases. So you can go ahead and draw those little C shapes along with shoulders and neck. Okay. So again, if you have it all puffy hair, it actually goes above. You just never think of how much space there is between above the eyes. It seems like the eyes are at the very top, but I encourage you to make that space bigger than you think, because the fact is, like, it's pretty big up there. Okay, I think we're good. And of course, you know, you go in and you do your shading, you do your different things that are going to make this look really good. But that, my friends, is the basic proportions of a face. Okay. That'll get you started if you're not that confident in getting a face that looks good. Okay. Good. All right, and then, you know, go ahead and put my details in, of course. Give them a nice little bit of hair hanging over their face. Do a bunch of shading to make it look groovy. And voila, you have a human magically staring out from the page. And everybody likes that magic, don't we? All right.